I was the once-in-a-millennium prodigy of the mortal realm. In just a century, I shattered the barriers to ascension, becoming a legend everyone looked up to down below. But once I reached the celestial realm, I realized the truth. The gods feasted on the finest cuts from mythical beasts that had taken millennia to ascend from the mortal world. The exquisite wines they savored were crafted from the tireless labor of countless ascendants like me, toiling day and night to produce that divine nectar. And me, with all my earthly glory, I ended up as a lowly guard at the southern gate of heaven, just another faceless sentinel. After the ninefold, lightning tribulation came rebirth through fire. When my feet first touched the 9 layers of heaven, I still couldn't believe it. I'd actually become one of the supreme beings. Before me stretched a sea of swirling clouds, with grand spires peeking through the mist. On the horizon, a golden phoenix drew a chariot of rainbow hues to a halt beside me. From behind the veiled curtains, a divine lord spoke in a voice as cold and detached as winter wind. "Are you the summit sage, Ethan Blake from the mortal realms, Apex Order?" Even after ascending, I hadn't adjusted to my new status. Deep down, I still felt like just a practitioner, worlds apart from the gods. I dropped to my knees in awe. "This humble immortal is Ethan Blake of the Apex Order. I bow before you, Divine Lord." The voice from the chariot remained utterly emotionless. "You'll guard the southern gate as a heavenly soldier. Your duty for the rest of eternity is to protect that entrance." Those words left me stunned, frozen in place. I was the most celebrated talent in the mortal realm, admired and envied by all. As a teenager, I'd been chosen for the Apex Order, apprenticed under the Grandmaster as his top disciple. Back then, word spread like wildfire through the practitioner world. The Apex Order had snagged a golden ticket to ascension in their new recruits. This prodigy had hit the peak of early mastery by entry, with unmatched intuition and sword skills, soon becoming the youngest to reach advanced mastery in the entire realm. Even on his deathbed, my mentor gripped my hand, smiling through his pain. "Ethan, having you as my student was my greatest blessing. My own path fell short. I couldn't break through to transcendence before my time ran out. The future of the Apex Order rests on you now." I didn't let him down. Over the next century, the Apex Order not only held its spot as the top faction in the practitioner world, but flourished with talented members, its position unassailable. And I, before my mortal lifespan ended, achieved ultimate mastery and survived the tribulation. How could someone like me, with such pride, be reduced to a gatekeeper in the celestial realm? Back in the Apex Order, the gifted disciples were funneled into the inner circle for elite training. Only those with muddled potential got stuck with menial tasks like watching the gates. I opened my mouth to question it, but a surge of golden light erupted at the southern gate. A young woman I'd never seen appeared in the celestial realm. Like me, a fresh ascendant. But in my 500 years in the mortal realm, I'd never crossed paths with her. The Divine Lord's voice softened just a touch. "Ah, it's the stellar sage ascending from the mortal realm." The elegant woman knelt respectfully. "Divine Lord, just call me by my earthly name. Down below, I was known as Luna. Luna's potential is decent. You'll serve in the inner halls." Luna bowed again and started to withdraw. I couldn't hold back. "Divine Lord, why does she get the inner halls while I'm stuck at the southern gate?" In terms of talent, from birth to ascension, everyone praised my brilliance. I was the mortal realm's rarest genius in 1,000 years. The Divine Lord's tone turned sharp. "How old were you when you reached advanced mastery in the mortal realm?" I answered with a hint of pride. 25, the youngest ever in the practitioner world." The Divine Lord scoffed. "Among the 6 realms, there are countless minor worlds, thousands just in the practitioner domains alone. Luna hit advanced mastery at 21. How can you compare? Besides, I ascended from the practitioner world 50,000 years ago and reached transcendence at 18. Talents like yours are a dime a dozen up here. Guarding the southern gate suits you fine." His words hit like a thunderclap, leaving my mind reeling. Only then did I muster what little divine energy I had peer into the truths. My practitioner world was just a speck in the vast multiverse. Countless minor worlds teemed with ant-like mortals scraping through life. A god's casual flick of dust became an insurmountable chasm for them. Practitioners were just slightly empowered ants, still trapped in the cycle of rebirth, desperately chasing that slim chance at ascension. In every world, whether once in a millennium or 10,000 years, prodigies mostly ascended to divinity. So the celestial realm was overflowing with such chosen ones. With tens of thousands gathered, my level of talent didn't stand out at all. The divine lord had departed. Luna turned back, helping me up with a comforting word. Summit Sage, the celestial realm is full of arrogant talents. We might not shine here, but our earthly factions will solidify their status thanks to our ascensions. With that, she conjured a mirror of water. As the ripples cleared, it revealed my practitioner world. The Apex Order was still celebrating my ascension wildly, laughter echoing through every hall. But they didn't know. The Grand Master they idolized was only fit to watch a gate in the celestial realm. Guard duty was mind-numbingly boring. With my subpar potential, heavenly soldiers like me struggled to cultivate. Even after millennia, we'd barely scraped together a bit of divine energy. Sharing the post with me was a general from a human world. He'd battled across fields for decades, racking up heroic deeds, ascending amid cheers from the masses. His reward? Guarding Heaven's Gate. Besides this general, the only one I could really talk to in the celestial realm was Luna. She was beautiful, with solid potential and a strong work ethic, quickly earning the title of Celestial Maiden from some minor lords. This quiet, directionless existence dragged on for months until a stone ape shattered the celestial realm's peace. The ape was brutish and unreasonable, with a feral grin and menacing eyes. Its first act upon barging through the southern gate was demanding an audience with the Emperor of Heaven. My fellow guard, General Mar Donovan, drew his sword and blocked the way, barking, without His Majesty's summons, "You can't just storm the southern gate." The ape showed no hint of civility, yanking out a massive staff and slamming it toward the gate with ruthless force. It was a casual swing, but the gale it whipped up pinned us in place, bodies frozen under the pressure. General Mark, closest to the ape, shattered in an instant upon contact with the wind. His divine frame crushed, his essence twisted into nothing, vanishing before my eyes. A god's fall meant no rebirth, no cycle. Mark had dutifully guarded the southern gate for over 700 years without a single slip, just following protocol with a question, and it ended in utter annihilation. The gale closed in, mere yards from my face. My divine frame trembled, on the verge of splintering under the strain. I'd only ascended 5 months ago. Was this how it ended? Quietly erased? What about my order? They were still buzzing about their founder's ascension, faces glowing with pride. The younger generations trained with fire in their bellies, dreaming of following me to the celestial realm. I hadn't even carved out a foothold here for them. How could I die now? In the split second before the gale hit, a surge of divine power hooked around my waist, yanking me clear of the staff sweep. I crashed hard outside the southern gate. Behind me, Luna spat a mouthful of blood, her fingers flickering with the last traces of her energy. Just escaping the ape's residual force had drained her completely. She grabbed my hand, clutching her chest wound in panic. "Ethan, run. We're no match for that ape. Come with me. Hide behind the throne hall." I'd never imagined a beast could cultivate such terrifying power. Even the celestial king Li and Lord Erlang, sent by decree to capture the ape below, returned empty-handed and defeated. The heavenly troops they took, mostly one-way trips. Those soldiers, before ascending, were celebrated prodigies in their worlds, each one a star down below. But up here, their auras faded, turning them into overlooked specks whose deaths went unnoticed. Clutching Mark's sword, I waited anxiously at the southern gate. When the all-seeing Celestial appeared, I rushed over, dropping to my knees. "Celestial, my fellow guard Mark Donovan was slain by the ape. Please have mercy and save him." The all-seeing Celestial glanced at me with disdain, a look I'd often seen in practitioners eyeing ordinary folks back home. Once fallen, they're erased from the 6 realms. Just replace the guard at the southern gate. A casual dismissal, wiping out Mark's existence. But Mark had endured hardships to ascend. In our time together at the gate, he mostly reminisced about his battlefield glories from the mortal world. Even though that was over 700 years ago, I knew the Supreme Elder could brew elixirs to revive shattered essences. Celestial, the Supreme Elder can refine a soul-restoring pill. Insolence. A lowly nobody daring to demand the Supreme Elder's elixir? Ethan Blake, talents like you and Mark are everywhere up here. Saving everyone would waste countless pills. After the all-seeing Celestial left, I stood there, numb. Yeah, I wasn't the prodigy anymore. I'd become the most insignificant speck in the celestial realm, the lowest of the low. On my first day guarding the southern gate, I'd sworn to myself to train hard and claim a real place here. But every ascendant started with the same vow, didn't they? My low starting point meant my power barely budged. A month's effort didn't match half an hour for someone with better potential. It was like those with mixed aptitudes in the practitioner world. Unable to draw in energy, no matter how many hours they put in, they got shunted to the outer rings, doing grunt work like cleaning. Mark's death went unnoticed. The celestial realm forgot him instantly. Down in the mortal world, though, after 700 years of change, his statues still stood in temples. Women brought their kids to pay respects amid incense haze, teaching them. This is General Mark from centuries ago. He reclaimed a dozen border towns single-handedly, held the line for decades, then ascended on his merits. You gotta work hard, grow up to serve like Mark did, then join him as a high god in the celestial realm. The kids' innocent faces lit up with longing, bowing solemnly with their moms. Mark wasn't living large like they imagined. He was the celestial realm's bottom rung. Maybe from his battlefield days, he had that easygoing vibe, always recounting how he'd snuck deep into enemy lines to cut their supplies. He told it so often, the other guards could recite it backward and scattered whenever he started up. As a fresh ascendant, I didn't mind listening, so Mark warmed up to me extra. But after the apes' rampage, of the dozen guards at the southern gate, only I remained. The rest were new faces. I figured I'd keep rotting there, day after day in a haze, until trouble hit the practitioner world. The apex order I'd left behind was overrun by demonic forces from the Shadow Realm. Though at its peak, the Demon Lord struck unexpectedly, a 3-day siege that overwhelmed my junior brothers and descendants. Even the protective barrier was breached by dark energy. The order teetered on destruction. My aging junior brother, clutching his bleeding wound, his silver hair like snow, gripped his life-bound sword and roared at the Demon Lord. Our founder ascended to divinity. Aren't you afraid he'll return and wipe out your demon clan? The Demon Lord burst into laughter. Old man, in the practitioner world's millennia, how many ascendants ever come back? Gods don't meddle in mortal affairs. Today, I'll raise your apex order, and don't count on your founders saving you. Up in the celestial realm, anxiety tore at me. The barrier was crumbling. Without anyone at ultimate mastery since me, they couldn't hold against the Demon Lord's onslaught. My juniors and students fought desperately. As the ascended founder, I rushed to the throne hall to petition the Emperor of Heaven. The Emperor ascended hundreds of thousands of years ago with profound power, impatiently eyed a lowly like me. What is it? Emperor, my old order faces annihilation. Please allow me to descend and aid them. Nonsense, the Emperor thundered, cutting me off. Gods must not interfere in mortal matters. Your order has its fate. You've ascended. Your duty is guarding the southern gate. Mortal ties are severed. Luna, attending nearby, shot me a worried look. The Emperor forbade me from mortal involvement. But how could I accept that? It was my home for over 500 years. My juniors, students, grand students, thousands of lives on the brink. If not me, who would save them? Emperor, the point of mortals ascending is to protect what we cherish. If we can't save them in crisis, what's the meaning of ascension? The Emperor's fury peaked. Audacious. You ascendants gain eternal life. What more do you want? Guards, drag Ethan Blake to the Labor Palace. Teach him how to be a proper minor immortal. The Labor Palace housed the celestial realm's weakest in talent and power. They slaved endlessly, harvesting spirit fruits and plants for the high gods of the 9 layers, brewing fine liquors for the rulers to enjoy. Life there was worse than immortal ants. Ants at least died eventually. These immortals faced endless servitude. As heavenly guards escorted me in, a gut-wrenching scream echoed through. A freshly ascended WYRM was bound mercilessly to a slab. A blank-faced minor immortal hefted a divine blade, plunging it toward its midsection. Horrified, I lunged forward to stop it. What are you doing? The immortal snapped irritably. What else? Tomorrow's the grand banquet. Gotta harvest this WIRM liver for appetizers. I recoiled in shock. It's an ascended divine WIRM. How can you use it as food? Divine WIRM? Only pure-blooded dragons get that title upon ascending. This is just a lesser WIRM, lucky to crawl up here. Serving as a delicacy for the lords is its honor. The lesser WIRM trembled in terror, lips quivering as it sobbed. I've cultivated 3,000 years down below, blessing folks with good weather, never harming a soul. Temples honored me for millennia. How can you? How can you? I snatched the blade, slicing the bonds. The WIRM cowered behind me, too scared to look up. That immortal, a former scholar who'd never wielded a sword, traded blows with me, a 500-year sword master, and realized he was outmatched. He cursed under his breath. Explain this to the Emperor tomorrow. Then stormed off. The WIRM, spared, shuddered so hard it couldn't hold human form, its massive tail thrashing in lament. If I'd known the celestial realm held such torment, I'd have stayed mortal. My faith in the celestial realm shattered. Lowlies like me were just eternal laborers to the high rulers. The ascension everyone craved. It was a scam, a way for the celestial realm to harvest suitable offerings from below. I bolted from the labor palace, risking execution to return to the practitioner world. Just half an hour. That's all I needed. I could save my order's descendants from the demons. If I couldn't protect what mattered, what was the point of godhood and endless life? Outside the southern gate lay the array back to the mortal realm. I charged in recklessly, only to be hurled back by the barrier. Divine force slammed me into a pillar. I staggered up, wiping blood from my mouth, trying again and again, always repelled. The high gods of the 9 layers zipped between realms effortlessly, but weaklings like me couldn't even descend. My order's screams filled the air, the barrier webbed with cracks. Wounded juniors rose repeatedly, buying time for the young ones against the demon lord. Eyes bloodshot, I punched the gate pillar. Behind me, a horde of heavenly soldiers closed in to haul me to prison. Prison meant eternal lockdown, probably forever. The blood-red sight of my order burned away reason. Surrounded, I flew toward the dreaded execution platform. This was the spot all gods feared, jumping in stripped divine essence, shredding the body in the array, scattering you forever. No rebirth. But surviving the platform alive meant reverting to pre-ascension state, awaiting natural death, then vanishing from the 3 realms. That slim chance was my only shot to save the order. Gritting my teeth, I stepped toward the array. A hand yanked me back. Luna, frantic, pressed a pill into my palm. Ethan, I snuck this from the Supreme Elder's furnace while delivering wine. It's a shield pill. Swallow it to withstand the platform's gales. My hand shook as I took the heavy pill. Facing her lovely features, I stammered a thank you. She smiled reassuringly. I'm a sore practitioner too. If my order faced doom, I'd choose the same. Her words hung as the platform quaked, the celestial realm trembling. Even the distant throne hall shook, chaotic wails rising. The apes stormed the 9 layers. The celestial realm faced catastrophe. Even the mighty emperor cowered under his throne, howling, "Quick, summon the enlightened one from the west." If the powerful emperor fared like that, us common immortals suffered worse. Many soldiers didn't even glimpse the foe before the ape's staff swept them away, their divine forms vanishing without trace. Even the remote execution platform felt the impact. A gale struck. Luna, too slow to dodge, flew backward. I lunged desperately for her hand, but grasped air. The WIRM, trailing me, roared, its massive form arrowing toward her, scooping her from the platform's edge. Scales corroded in patches, but it was too late. Luna's body faded to transparency, the sign of essence loss, body failing. Just the ape's residual wind had crushed her divine frame. The platform's gale yanked it free. For lowlies like us, that aftermath was fatal. Luna was my only real companion in the celestial realm. The endless, dull days here, only she shared them with me. Tears streamed down my face. I pulled out the shield pill she'd given, tried to feed it to her. But she refused, clutching my sleeve with fading strength. Forget me. My essence is gone. Taking that pill would leave me a powerless speck here forever. Ethan, go. Do what you must. Go. Do what we practitioners are meant to. I shook my head fiercely, holding her as I begged. Luna, you're all I have left here. Don't leave me alone. Eva. Serve in the throne hall, so long, maybe. I picked up a trace of the Lord's power. Could be. A shot at rebirth. I knew it was consolation. Lowlies like us vanished utterly upon death. No trace in the 3 realms. No soul fragments. Luna faded fast, turning to dust in my arms within moments, carried off by the wind. Only a small peach blossom mark remained in my left palm. Her favorite flower. I knelt by the platform, too numb for tears, just an icy chill in my veins. Until cheers echoed from the throne hall. High gods celebrating the ape's oppression. The celestial realm's authority unchallenged. Music played softly. Festivities resumed. Delicacies and wines flowed like rivers to the hall. From afar, I could hear the Emperor and Celestial's hearty laughs. No one cared about the soldiers' losses, or a mere hall attendant's passing. Luna was forgotten like a passing breeze. I rose on stiff legs, swallowed the shield pill, kissed the palm mark gently, and leaped resolutely into the execution platform. The platform's gales raged fiercer than the ape's staff winds, like countless blades tearing me apart, essence draining bit by bit. I clench my jaw, channeling my scant power to shield my body from dissolution, hoping to survive back to the practitioner world and save my descendants. A deafening roar pierced my ears. Squinting through the chaos, I saw the WIRM charging recklessly, wrapping its huge body around me, blocking the array's fury. I shouted at it, "WIRM, are you insane?" It coiled tighter, airtight. My blood's impure, but I've lived 3,000 years. These scales are tough. Getting down the 9 layers is worth it. This heartless, celestial realm? Not worth staying. I'd rather die than be someone's meal. Scales eroded to flesh. The WIRM didn't whimper. By the 3rd layer, the array shredded it completely. My youthful body aged rapidly, black hair turning silver, from 20s fresh vigor to pre-ascension decay. Meanwhile, in the practitioner world's apex order, the demon lord cackled at the shattered barrier. "Heard your founder ascended recently. Must have left ascension tomes. Once I slaughter you all, those treasures are mine. Maybe I'll ascend myself someday." With that, he gathered dark energy, hurling it at the terrified disciples. As it struck, a blinding golden force from midair pierced the demon lord's chest, blasting him back dozens of yards, having his power. The survivors gaped upward in shock. A sharp-eyed practitioner yelled excitedly, "It's our summit sage returning." Death's shadow lifted. In midair, I looked as I had pre-ascension, wielding unmatched ultimate mastery, scattering the demons with a wave. My junior brother struggled up, tears muddying his eyes. "Senior brother, how did you return from the celestial realm?" I stared calmly at the demon lord's stunned face. "Protecting the order is my duty too." Cheers erupted in the apex order. With their pillar back, even wounded youths gripped swords, blood flowing, ready to fight demons to the end. The demon lord, shaken, fled pathetically with his remnants. The order safe, my juniors and students crowded around, eyes full of awe. "Senior brother, what's the celestial realm like?" "Master, are you powerful there?" "Founder, how long will you stay this time?" The last from a young disciple. Everyone leaned in, expectant. They didn't know. My divine essence was stripped, my soul a discarded piece in the 3 realms. The revered summit sage was just a mortal practitioner now, without afterlife. By my original lifespan, 13 years till natural end. Then, total erasure from the 3 realms. Gods ignored mortals, without divine status. No one from the celestial realm would bother me these 13 years. I smiled warmly, spinning a massive lie. "I'll stay 13 years. After that, I'll return to the celestial realm." The order recovered swiftly. Demons, scared by a god's descent, hunkered down. The demon lord dared not stir. The apex order hit its golden age in millennia. Countless eager youths trekked in, desperate to join, even as outer disciples or janitors. But my time was short, just 13 years to rebuild. After, they'd walk alone, no one to guard them. I didn't shatter their ascension dreams. Dreams fueled effort. Alone, I'd often trace the peach blossom mark in my palm, lost in thought. Luna's lovely face haunted dreams, like those quiet days. She'd visit the southern gate laughing, pulling out a vial of nectar she'd saved for me. Nectar boosted divine energy, precious, scraped from her throne hall duties. It made Mark jealous, yelling about favoritism, demanding his share. Noisy but joyful. My only happy times in the celestial realm. Now they were gone, silent deaths, as if they'd never existed. 13 years flew by. Soon, I'd vanish too. With days left, the order buzzed with joy, disciples beaming. For others, life's end was tragic, but my lie made them think it was reascension. They planned a grand ceremony to inspire new recruits with the founder's glory. Every 5 years, top talents joined. With our fame, potential soared. Crowds of chattering teens couldn't hush, like dawn's first light, curiously eyeing the world. My junior brother stroked his white beard smugly. "Senior brother, this batch's talents are top-notch, especially one girl, rivals your entry days." He waved for aides to bring the new disciples to the hall. My junior was picky. His praise meant millennium-rare genius. Teens flooded in, kneeling awkwardly, voices buzzing with thrill. My gaze swept the fresh faces, locking on one that shattered my composure. I rose from the dais, eyes stinging, fighting tears. The palm mark warmed faintly. My junior brother assumed talent spotting. "See, senior brother likes this batch too. Our order will grow unbreakable, untouchable in the practitioner world." I ignored him, descending stiffly, fearing it'd dream that'd vanish. Among them knelt a skinny girl, 12 or 13, her budding features hinting at future beauty. My junior nodded behind. Sharp eye, senior brother. She's the standout, heart and talent above the rest. Planning to apprentice her under my top student. I stopped beside her, lifting her up gently. How old are you? 13, founder. My voice quivered. What's your name? She ducked shyly. My folks never gave one. Just call me Brat. Heard the mighty Apex Order was recruiting. Snuck out to try my luck. I scanned her. Ragged clothes, barefoot, grimy from rough travel. Hair mess. Yet self-taught, she'd drawn an energy, already at basic mastery. No name? Then I'll grant you Luna. Bright and unique, like the moon itself. Luna knelt happily, eyes sparkling. She loved it. Through young Luna, I glimpsed myriad worlds. Centuries ago, another young Luna joining her order, full of hope, climbing to the 9 layers. Maybe fate pitted me. Luna had absorbed a sliver of Lord's power in the throne hall. To high gods, negligible. But for us lowlies, that speck preserved her soul, guiding her rebirth. To me, I wanted to give her everything, shield her on this path again. Summoning my life-bound sword from essence, I presented it solemnly. Luna, this blade's been mine over a century. Now it's yours. May it carry you far. Will you take me as master? The hall erupted. My junior bolted up, yanking his 200-year-old, middle-aged-looking grin. No issue. After I return, she'll train under you. She will become the Order's greatest sword master. Luna accepted the sword blinking, her small frame brimming with resolve. She bowed, tiny face fierce beyond her years. Disciple Luna greets master. I'll train diligently, never shame you. In a century, I'll protect the Order, a sword for the world. Done deal. My junior grimaced but waved. Your apprentice, my job to raise. Fine, little grandaunt, you'll stay with me at Summit Peak. Lifespan's end arrived. The Order overflowed with cheer. Even other factions' leaders came, hoping to witness ascension. I sat cross-legged on the dais, life ebbing fast. Death neared, but worries lingered. Luna so young, I couldn't watch her mature into independence. The path was grueling, sweat for every breakthrough, racing time for longevity. I opened eyes, dismissing all but Luna. She hugged the sword, eyes wide and reluctant. Master, heading back to the celestial realm? I nodded, pulling a peach blossom pin from my robes, tucking it in her hair. Delicate flower matched her youth. I looked ancient, frielier than pre-ascension. I wanted to touch her soft cheek, but saw my withered hand, like twisted branches, and patted her head instead. Luna, ascend young as possible. Younger means faster growth there. My Luna, even ascended, will be the mightiest god. She nodded earnestly. Luna, what is a god? I think gods aren't just ascendants. Protecting what you love, that makes you a god, the greatest. I nodded contentedly. Next, vast energy gathered in my palm, flowing along her back through her body. Luna gasped. Master, hold still. My 500-plus years of ultimate mastery, yours now. It'll speed you 100-fold. Power drained. I felt life's end. Breaths labored, silver hair withered dry. A true dying man. Last energy gone, world blurred. I saw juniors and descendants around, faces calm. My junior chuckled. Senior brothers returning to the celestial realm. 13 years here was plenty. We must have been a hassle. I recalled our mentor's end. Me and siblings kneeling, sobbing, little sister fainting. This life from 13 years ago, best choice ever. Last glance at Luna. Her smile held no fear, just reluctance, clinging to the sword like treasure, nearly her height. Outside, youths whispered, Founder's going back today. Gotta train hard, not disappoint him. Hope to be like him, ascend to godhood. Only now did I feel divine. Though like Mark and the WYRM, traceless in the 6 realms, millions remembered us. Mark's earthly shrines thrived. The WRM's temples multiplied. In the apex order, my eternal lamp shone central, undying. New disciples bowed reverently. I was their God, a savior in crisis. That sufficed. I was glad for ascension 13 years back. Gladder Luna, at 13, held ultimate mastery, surpassing the Emperor's ascent talent manifold. Body and soul faded, the sign of no rebirth for practitioners. But no one noticed the detail. They thought return meant leaving mortal form behind. No link to no afterlife. Vision fragmented, life slipping. I saw Mark grinning over mortal tales, the WYRM preening scales. Suddenly, a crisp voice urged, Master, wait. I'll ascend within a century, find you there. Echoing our Southern Gate meeting. In final darkness, amid laughter, I mustered, good. Luna, I'll wait in the celestial realm. Story complete.